I'm Nana Akwe, and it's now time for my difficult conversation. Now, today it's with two brilliant entrepreneurs, Mitch Herber and Linda Ball. Now, they are the innovators behind turning plastic in the ocean into useful medical equipment. They're supporting the NHS and helping to clean up our oceans. So I'm very pleased to say that Mitch and Linda join me now. Thank you very much for joining me. It's really good to see you both.
You're welcome.
Good to see you too.
Fabulous. Right, so first of all, talk to me, Linda, about this concept, because you're actually taking plastic, just disused plastic that's in the ocean, and you're actually recycling it and making it into something that is useful. Talk to me about why and how this is done.
So, first of all, obviously, you know there's so much plastic out there in the ocean and landfill. So that's where I started with Sequel. So
Sequel are the company?
Sequel are a partnership with me. They're in Europe, so they collect the waste from the ocean. They also collect it from landfill, because you can only use a part of the ocean waste to mix in with the landfill, because by the time it's come out of the ocean, it's so degraded, you only are allowed to use a certain amount of that. Right. Although we are going to be changing that moving forward, and I'll explain that to you afterwards. But what we do is we mix 35% organic cotton with 65% post-consumer waste. So
where do you get the cotton from?
So that's from Spain.
Okay.
So that's all grown in Spain.
Okay.
So that's why we have the lowest carbon footprint, because everything we do is in Europe to the UK.
Right.
So they collect the waste there, they make the yarn there, they then make the textile there, they send the textile to me here in the UK, and then we make these wonderful scrubs.
So you mix this plastic from the ocean with this cotton that you get in Spain to make these products?
What they do first of all is obviously they collect the polymer, so they collect the PET post-consumer only.
So PET post-consumer.
So that is polyester. So yeah. PET is like your water bottle, food packaging, things like that, because certain polymers you can only use for certain things.
Right.
Which people are not quite clear on that at the moment. So we need to give them the education to teach them to segregate the waste. Then that way we won't have to keep putting it in the bins, putting it in landfill. We can just keep reusing it over and over again. Yeah. That would be the idea moving forward.
And just how bad is the situation with the plastic in the ocean?
It's so bad, it's critical. Because if you think about it, I don't think a lot of people know this, but from the moment the plastic is made, if it's not fortified correctly, it starts degrading very quickly. When it degrades, it lets off greenhouse gases.
And so it degrades what into small, micro...
So, particles in the air, and obviously you only get the microplastics and the microfibres through the cycle of things. So if you're moving it about a lot, so you know when you put your clothes in the tumble dryer, it starts spinning around, well, all of those little fibres start coming off. That's why you get loads of fluff in the tumble dryer.
See, that's what that is. Now, Mitch, what's your involvement in this?
I've been involved for 5-6 years. It's nice to make a difference in the world, and as soon as I saw the products that Linda's developed, I was blown away by them. And when you consider that the average person is ingesting a credit card worth of plastic a week.
No.
Yeah.
Roughly.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just the plastic solution. But then when you take into consideration the CO2 savings and the water savings and the energy savings, this is a game changer for the world.
But won't that still remain the same, because you're making things with plastic and then there'll be more plastic out there still? What's different about it?
We're fortifying the product so basically when we make these products, you can use them again and again. It's about...
You can use them up to 20
times.
Yeah.
And then we can take them back again, melt them down and reuse them. And our aim is to make sure that nothing goes back into the ocean and goes into fish and into our bodies.
Doesn't it? Because I thought you'd come up with something that stops the plastic from turning into these tiny little fibres.
So that's my technology. So I've got a top-grade scientist. He's 77 years old. His name's Dr. Joe Webster. He's in North Carolina, in America.
Yeah.
And he created the technology called altering. Right. So it alters the state of the plastic and the rheology and the thermal stability and everything that you do with it. So what we did was we did a project. I won a competition with Bupa. Yeah. So we got the plastic medical aprons. You know, everybody goes in with a white plastic medical apron. We took them, we ground them down, we put the Ultrin inside, and a normal apron that you purchase for medical is like 30 grams. Ours is 184. It allowed us to recycle that apron 20 times.
That's incredible, isn't it?
Right? So we don't just do that with that apron. We have an Ultrin for every single polymer that's out there.
An Ultrin is
the technology that you put in. So when you put it in at the melting stage, it allows you to melt at 40 degrees lower. So can you imagine? You're saving energy, carbon and water to begin with. So if you're going down 40 degrees temperature, you're then saving loads more carbon.
Yeah, and so ultimately the things that you're creating as well are more recyclable, so you can continue to
Yeah, and also they're long-lasting. So if you feel the quality of that, feel the quality of that.
So this is just like the sort of normal scrubs that they wear.
It's a normal scrub shirt.
Yeah, look at that. And that's made out of it.
65% of that is plastic,
Wow.
partly from the ocean and partly from landfill.
Wow.
And the beauty of this is fully traceable. So we track and trace our waste from where we get it.
How is it traceable? Where does it trace?
So we make sure that obviously where we're collecting it from, we say this is collected from point B. So say the fishermen go out into Spain, they collect the plastic, they bring it back, they go out to Portugal, they collect the plastic. Or we've got NGOs, so they're going on the beaches, they're collecting the waste, they're collecting it from the rivers. So we're growing it, we're getting bigger and bigger.
But why are we not doing that anyway? Why were we not reusing stuff in this way? It seems madness.
Because you have to understand, the reason for that is the oil industry. Because previously, the more plastic that's made, the more oil that's used. This is an oil-based product. All plastic is an oil-based. And it's not the plastic, it's what you do with it. So because it's not fortified correctly from the get-go, so they'll use a very, very small amount and it will be very weak. So by the time we get it, that's the rubbish that we've got. So it's a vicious circle.
So if people want to find out more or get involved in this, do you have somewhere they can go and find out more?
They can come to me at supracycling.co. and they can come to me at upcyclemedical.com.
Yeah. Well, listen, thank you both for joining us, Mitch.
You're welcome.
You're very welcome.
Good to meet you. Really good to talk to you. I think it's fantastic. That's what we should be doing.
Yeah, absolutely. There's trillions of tonnes of waste in the ocean and all around the world. So we need to reclaim it, repurpose it, reuse it, upcycle it, supercycle it and create zero waste.
And it's genuine carbon savings as well, not greenwashing.
Yeah, it's not greenwashing, not greenwashing.
The government needs to be listening so that if there's genuine about, carbon waste, then this needs to be something that you present to them.
Well, that's a good thing about what we're doing. If we was to be audited at any given stage, we know that we'll come out the right way and we're not greenwashing by any means.
Well, listen, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
To talk to you. That is Linda Ball and also Mitch Herber. Thank you so much.